Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the newest episode of the Theater Enthusiast podcast. God, that was so dramatic, but I feel like that fits,
I love it.
right? Thank
Yeah.
you. Very excited to welcome our next guest today. They are a New York-based actor and theater artist. They are also the co-founder of the new I can't even say the word, interdisciplinary
It's a tricky one.
performance group. Oh my God, I said it correct. Words are sometimes hard.
Well done.
Harlow Radical. Please welcome Kendall Hartse. Whoa.
Hello, hello. I'm
Hello.
so happy to be here.
Thank you. I used to have an applause app and then like Zoom changed and then the people on the other side of the Zoom couldn't hear the applause app. And so then I got rid of it because I don't want people to think like I just wake up in the morning to like applause. Somebody
But what
said
a
that
way to
to me
wake
once.
up.
Yeah. No, I wake up. My alarm is to no one else from Great Comet. So that's how
That's a
I
good
wake up.
alarm. Oh,
I
that's a
agree.
lovely way to enter your day.
I agree, especially when you had to go to work for 11 hours and tell
Mm.
tourists about destination fees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to start your day right.
I agree with some great comment. Well, anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
So I always like starting off with, where are you from?
Fun fact, I'm from Spokane, Washington. I know we're in the news right now, unfortunately, with all the wildfires, so maybe
Yeah.
Spokane's on the map a little bit right now. But yeah, I grew up in Spokane, Washington, and then left to go to school in Boston and moved to New York. But that's where I
Yeah.
began, and that's, where I got my start with dance and theater and all of it.
Did you see a Bohanning in Spokane?
I didn't see a behanding in Spokane. I missed that one. I don't
Yeah.
know how I missed it. I feel bad that I missed it. I feel like I had a duty as a former Spokanite to go and I missed it.
Trying to remember who I saw it with. Someone I don't talk to anymore. And also, like, not in a bad way, you just lose touch with
Sure.
people. But I just remember being like, oh, wow, this show, like, is not for me, but Sam Rockwell is awesome.
I love Sam Rockwell.
I know. I'm
I'm
dying
so
to,
excited for A View from the Bridge. I'm like,
yeah.
I probably should have gotten tickets already, so we'll see if I still
Well, my
can.
friend and I immediately purchased tickets, and then I was
Smart.
like, oh shit, I'm seeing a different show that night. So she found someone to buy the tickets,
That's
but
good.
I don't know why she hasn't like repurchased more tickets.
Important.
I know. I'll have that discussion with her later. She and I are seeing Rocky Horror. She won the lottery for it.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, sorry. Enough about me. Let's get back to you.
All
So,
right.
a young person in Spokane or
Yes.
Spokane as you call it.
Spokane. Yes, that
Spokane.
is what is called, in fact.
Yes. Spokane. What got you into performing?
Well, when I was little, I had a lot of energy. And my parents put me into a combination tumbling dance class
Interesting.
at like a local YMCA to get all of the wiggles out, essentially. And I did the tumbling for a little bit and then pretty quickly realized that that was not for me, but that dance absolutely was.
Yeah.
I became completely captivated with it and just completely fell in love with it. And ballet, actually, from a very early age, was the thing that had my heart until I did my first school play. And then I was like, wait a minute, I like this even more. And then I found out about musicals, and I'm like, you can do it all at the same time. And
Hmm.
that was it for me.
Yeah. What was the first play you did as a kid?
The very first play I did was our school play. It was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and 8-year-old me was Willy Wonka.
And you didn't have to shave your head like Christian Brawl.
No, no, I had a little top hat.
That amazing. That's incredible. Sorry, I still don't know why he went bald for that, but
It
it's
is,
just
it's
like,
a choice. It's certainly a
yeah. I
choice.
think he said it made the wig easier to put on, which is fair.
That's fair. I wasn't wearing a wig. I just tucked my hair up in my hat.
Yeah, that's great.
It works.
So you went to Boston Conservatory.
That's true.
What made you decide to go there?
I knew when I was in high school that I wanted to do theater as a career. Like I knew that even before high school. I knew that from a very young age. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
And a good friend of mine had auditioned for and gotten into the Boston Conservatory a year before. And I didn't know a lot about conservatories at the time. I knew there was an arts college in Seattle, but I was like, no, I need to be closer to New York.
Yeah.
And I found out about two programs, CCM and Boston Conservatory, and those are the only programs I applied to.
Oh, wow.
And I chose to go to the Boston Conservatory because of its proximity to New York. And yeah, I knew I was like, I wanted to be in a conservatory. I wanted to be somewhere where I was gonna get to dedicate myself to the things I really cared about the most. I up to the I mean I graduated high school a year early
Oh,
because I
wow.
was like, you know what, I'm done. I was like, I've done everything I can in Spokane. I'm ready to move forward. I was really lucky. There was a professional summer stock company across the river in Idaho, in Coeur d'Alene, like this very sort of bougie tourist town, and
Mhm.
they had a professional summer stock company. And I auditioned for it the summer I turned 16 was the very first summer I ever performed in summer stock. And that was the year that I was like, okay, I'm going to wrap up my high school fast. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go study
Yeah.
and make this my life.
Wow. And here we are. So what
And here
brought
we
you
are.
here we are. So after Boston Conservatory, what happens?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's a little bit different now. They've merged with the Berkeley School of Music. So I was pre. I'm old. So I was pre-merger.
Oh, girl.
Oh, I mean, like my
Are we
merch
gonna
doesn't
sit
say
her
at
there?
Berkeley.
My the I went to Pace. It wasn't a performing arts
Oh,
college when I was
yeah.
there. It was a program, not
Hmm.
its own school.
Right.
Probably
But yeah,
couldn't get
so
in now.
I was like, it would be really interesting to see what it's like now at the concert. I would love to go back and see what it's like. I think in a lot of ways it's I don't know if better is the word, but like there are more opportunities to study different things. Like they
Yeah.
have a devised theater program now that they did
Yeah.
not have when I was there, and I
I
would have gone nuts for that.
yeah.
It would have been incredible. But you know, I got my very classic BFA, musical theater. But it's great. I feel like for me at least, a conservatory really set me up in terms of connections. That's the one thing, like moving to the city, you kind of already have a safety net in place. It's like there are fellow graduates, there are people who have
Yeah.
been there, and you can always rely on them to kind of show you the ropes. And that's something I always really liked about the Boston Conservatory is like there was definitely a real energy of like, once you're here, the people that came before you are going to look out for you. At least that
Yeah.
was my experience. And I want to have that with the people I meet who come up after. I just did a show with a girl, actually. I did a production of Annie last year.
Yeah.
And the star to be, we've discovered we had the same dorm room at the
Oh,
conservatory.
wow. Wild.
Literally the same dorm room. But it
That's
was so cool to meet
wild.
her and to get to connect with her and, you know, have the to sort of be like, "Oh yeah, like here I am, here you are, the next generation." It's a great experience. I really like that about a program like that.
Yeah. So you moved to New York. Do you
Yeah.
remember like the hustle, like the first,
Oh,
oh girl.
oh, did I hustle?
Mhm. Let's talk.
I've joked with my partner Austin for years about writing a book about my experiences as a non-union actor in the
Mhm.
beginning in New York.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I mean, the show that we're gonna be talking about, Cowboy, it is like an autobiographical piece.
It is.
Just saying the like third show could be called The Hustle.
Well, the third show is already planned.
The fourth
And
show could be
the
The
the fourth
Hustle.
show could be the hustle. But it is, I mean, hustle is the word. I mean, I was getting up. I used to keep a notebook and I would get up every day around 5 a.m. because you'd have to wait in line on the sidewalk because the buildings wouldn't be open. And I'd be down there sitting on my little AM New York on the sidewalk waiting for the building to open. Every day for about a calendar year I did that.
Wow.
And you know, you don't get seen and you're hoping that you're the one of four people that they're gonna get to on the non-union list, and you know, you're waiting outside. This was before they redid the equity center too, so
Mhm.
you weren't even allowed to use the bathroom in the building at this time. You had to go to the McDonald's next door if you wanted to use the bathroom. But I spent my first well, I got my equity card in 2010. So first, my first 3 years in New York, I was really hustling. And on top of really hustling, I was also contending with, right out of school, I had booked the national tour of Cats,
Mhm.
and I broke my spine on that tour.
Oh,
Fun, yeah. So and that sort of we'll get into that a little bit more later probably, but that sort of threw a wrench in things for me. But I was still really pounding the pavement pretty hard with a fractured L5,
mhm.
and just building it up and working really hard and waiting for those opportunities and getting myself in front of as many casting people as possible. And you know, eventually it does pay off. People get to know you. They understand that you have a good work ethic when they see you showing up and showing up and showing up. And it really did pay off for me in that way. I don't know now if it would be. Things have changed so much that like it's a very different It's a very different thing that young people today are contending with, but that was how I did it. And,
Yeah.
it was tough, but it worked.
But I do want to talk more about the you show up, you do your work, and people get to know you. And I think it's
Mm.
important for those listening who want to get in the industry, like
Yeah.
be kind to everybody because
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't know. I mean, I always tell this story of I was doing merch at Mamma Mia, and there was this actor who went into the show, and everybody knew how excited I was. And I went into, we went to, I can't speak English. I went to a Mamma Mia party, and I go up to him, and I was like, you were in the show that I loved, and he was such an asshole to me.
Oh,
And ever since then, I was like, nope. And during the pandemic, I directed these virtual play readings. And, there was some stuff he might have been good for, but I'm like, I'm not going to reach out to this
not
guy.
you. No.
Like, no way. And I've
Hmm.
had conversations with other performers who are like, you like it doesn't take anything to be nice to people because you don't know who people are. Like one person is like, yeah, there was this person who was doing merch at the show that I was in. And then years later, they remembered I was nice to them and they asked me to do a cabaret. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
You never know who's going where. You never know who's
Yeah.
going to end up doing what. And so, yeah, I think it's really important kindness first and foremost. And
Yeah.
also having a good work ethic, I think, for
Mhm.
me at least, is something that
Yeah.
was always really important. Just showing up and saying, I'm here and I'm ready to work.
Hmm.
A friend of mine and I always say like happy to be here and easy to work with is like sort of the goal.
Yeah.
Just, and like, which isn't to say like you need to have self-respect and you need to take care of yourself and you need to have boundaries and like all
Yeah.
of that. But it costs nothing to show up and do your work and do it well. And
Yeah.
people do take notice of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People do notice consistency.
Yeah.
And I think often people think show I think the joke, not the joke, but the sort of the trope of the overnight success, and you're like, well, I've been doing this for 20 years,
Mhm.
someone just finally noticed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's building.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to have a career, not just moments, you know what I mean? I've always sort of been in it for the long haul and the long game.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, building that up and saying this is important to me, that I represent myself well
Yeah.
from the beginning.
Mhm. And I think that's so important too. And because if you want to be in this for the long haul, it's not so much about like the notoriety, it's about the
No.
work and
Yeah.
showing up and doing the work and, doing regional, well, not community, but like regional tours, off Broadway, like
All of that.
whatever. You just want to work and be happy with your work.
Well, and work begets work is what I always
Yeah.
say. If you're doing something, people go, "Oh, right, you do things."
Hmm.
And if
Yeah.
you're not doing any, it's hard sometimes waiting, and I think that's also where creating your own work comes in.
I was going to say too, like, don't be afraid to create your own work. Because I was talking to somebody last week and they're saying it's so hard to create theater even now.
Oh yeah.
So just to like do something creative. And I've even had people, they're like, oh, I want to do Shakespeare. It's like Shakespeare is free. And I
Yeah,
literally always say this, grab a group of people, go into Central Park and like do
do
the
it.
Scottish play. Like
Why not?
Shakespeare is free. You don't gotta pay, bro. You don't
That's
gotta
true.
pay for the rights to Shakespeare,
It's true. Yeah.
Just,
It's funny.
put on like an abridged, what's the long Hamlet?
Oh yeah, why not? Some friends and I for a while was part of a group where we would get together and just read plays sometimes on
Yeah.
Fridays. Like that also, it's a good way to keep yourself sharp. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
good way to keep your tools working. And like also, I mean, the thing is, creating your own work. It's funny when people say that. It's like, what do you actually mean by that? Is always
Yeah.
my question. Because I'm
Mhm.
like, you don't actually mean. I don't think that means what you think it means. I think a lot of people make assumptions about what it is
Mhm.
of creating your own work. But I'm like, well, someone needs to. If I make something,
Mhm.
the process of writing it to it being on stage is actually long. You know what I mean? You need
Yeah.
people, you need collaborators, and it's being an actor is a collaborative art, so you can't necessarily just walk into a space and be like, I'm making this by myself.
Yeah.
It's tough. You need collaborators and you need a vision, I think.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, let's just go back a little bit. So you've been on the Broadway.
I have.
I'm curious to know what was it like doing On a Clear Day? I unfortunately never got to see it, but
Well, not a lot of people did.
I know. I just like I don't know what happened where I never got to, probably like because I had no money, but like that was
You
like
also ran for this long was part of that. You know, it was
Sure.
it was my Broadway debut, and it was really cool because I hilariously never actually auditioned for it.
Oh, I'm seated for this story. Let's
So,
go.
years before, my partner Austin had written a letter to Michael Mayer and left it at the stage door of Spring Awakening, basically saying, "I admire your work. I want to be a director. I'd love to meet you." Michael was looking for an assistant at the time and contacted him, and then they started working together after that. And Austin's now been his associate on like several Broadway shows. But
Mhm.
at the time, Michael was working on this revised version of On a Clear Day You Can See Forever that they didn't have the rights to yet. So he asked Austin, "Hey, can you get a group of like your friends from school into a room to read this new script I have? But like we can't really get people like names to do it because it's got to be hush hush." So we read through the script, and that was the very first time I did it. And then Michael really liked me, and I got to stay. So I did the next reading of it, and then I did the next reading of it, and then I did the next one. And that I actually ended up getting my equity card through that by doing it at New York Stage and Film. I was the only member of the company at the time who was non-union, so I said, "Hey, can I join the union with this project?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, no reason why not." And then when it was time for it to go to Broadway, at that point I had played all of the female roles in the show, I think except for one, throughout various readings. And so I was like, and I'd also done a lot of pre-production work with the choreographer Joanne Hunter. And so I was sort of primed to be a swing in that show. It
Yeah.
was like a match made. They were like, "You already know it. You've helped us make this choreography like perfect."
Hmm.
So there it was really kismet for me. And I did in fact, even though the run was short, get to go on. I think I went on 4 times, including getting to play opposite some scenes opposite Harry Connick Jr.,
I
which
mean,
was really fun.
is he as like lovely as you would hope he would be?
He's so lovely. He
Okay.
literally got me flowers when I made my Broadway debut.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was very sweet.
I saw him at what was it when he did his Metropolitan Museum of Art. No,
Oh,
Metropolitan Opera show.
yes. I think
That
my
was
friend
cool.
Luke did tap choreography for that.
Oh wow, yeah, he tap
Yeah.
danced on a piano and everything. It was
Yep.
great.
No, but it was a really special experience and one that I got to share with Austin also, which was really cool.
Yeah, not to like blow smoke, but maybe working on Galileo.
Uh-huh.
Just saying. I was even talking to somebody about it today. I was like, I hope I get free tickets through work, and I already know who I'm bringing.
That's exciting. I'm
Yeah,
so excited for Galileo. I think it's going to be so good.
I am too. I mean, you can't really ever go wrong with Raul
You
Esparza.
really can't.
Like, sorry, I'm like just thinking about him and I'm having a moment. I digress. Anyway,
And I
back
think
to
there's
you.
going to be some like unbelievable thrilling moments vocally from him in this one. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. I think, and it's so funny too, because he's doing Shakespeare in the Park right now with Lily
Right.
Rave. And the best thing I've ever seen in the park was Cymbeline, and they were both in it. And he had
Oh,
like a jazzy, like Vegas number in Cymbeline. Oh my
nice.
God. I think it was Cymbeline.
That's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yes. Enough about me. So, also, I just want to talk about like other credits you've done. You've done the
Sure.
first national tour, the band's visit.
That was my career highlight to this point
Yeah,
in my
let's talk
life,
about
for
it because
sure. Oh,
yeah.
it was truly, I've never had an experience like that
Hmm.
in my career. It came at the exact right time for me
Hmm.
because I was really, I have been, ironically, after creating this dance piece, I've been trying to transition out of dance.
Hmm.
Because I got my start, you know, dancing in a lot of ensembles, but I've
Yeah.
always been an actor first.
Hmm.
And it's really tricky once they know you can dance. You
Yeah.
know, people always say never tell anyone you can dance if you want to do anything else. Because once they know, they're like, "Oh, well, you come on, dance more." But at that time in my career, I was like, I was really ready to make a transition. And I got an audition for it. And I remember thinking, this is for me. Like, I know this character, I know how to do this. And getting to be a part of that show and work with David Cromer and take it across the country, it's such a special show.
Yeah.
It has such a unique place in musical theater. It's much more like a play with music than anything else.
Hmm.
And the people that I got to work with, like Sasson Gabay, who played Tufik in the movie, was our Tufik on tour.
Yeah.
And it was a masterclass every night watching him. He'd been playing that role in some form for so many years, and it was brand new every single night. every single night he was making discoveries and new things were happening. And I was so inspired by the people I worked with. That company was so good. And to get to work on material that rich and satisfying for that period of time, it's just like you don't always get the opportunity, especially in a commercial theater piece, where
Yeah.
you feel like your artistry is really represented. And I
Mhm.
think that that really typified that for me.
Yeah.
It was so special.
Yeah. And it's also such a beautiful, like, and simple show, too. Yeah.
It
And
was
I,
funny because I didn't have to sing in that one, which was also really, I didn't have to sing, I didn't have to dance, and I didn't have to play an instrument, all things that they always make me do. And I was like, the only thing I had to do that was hard is I had to cry. So in the script, and I'll forever have it, the script literally, the stage direction says, she sobs with surprising violence. Which I was like, that's a tall order. But so that was the only thing about that experience that was challenging is I was like, well, I have to go to a pretty dark place
mhm.
8 shows a week. So that was sort of the aria that I think that character had in that moment.
Yeah. But here we are. You made it through.
Here I am.
Yes. And I also, I mean, there's a few other things that you've done that I would love to talk about. You also did
Sure.
the national tour of Cabaret,
Yes.
and you understudied Sally Bowles,
I
and
did
you
understudy
did
Sally
eventually
Bowles.
play her regionally.
I actually played her
Yeah.
originally first,
Oh,
hilariously.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Because, like, this is going to sound terrible, but when I do my research with people, I try to, like, chronologically put their shows in order.
Oh,
And I don't think
interesting.
I did that with you.
Oh no, it's totally fine. No, so I hilariously that was when I did cabaret. I played Sally Bowles at the Arvada Center when
Hmm.
I was a kid. I was in my early 20s when I did that. And I the tour came along. I mean, I had been in for that production so many times at that point. And a lot of actor musician shows that you like you go in and you go in and you go in and you go in and like then a year later they're like you come in again.
Yeah.
And I always would joke I'm like I'm not any better at the violin ever.
Hmm.
Like they always think I'm going to be better the next time I come in. I'm like no, I'm going to be exactly the same because this is my skill set.
Yeah.
But eventually it was the right time. They needed somebody who could both play the violin and cover Sally Bowles. Enter me because that's something that I can do. And
Yeah.
so that tour, that I will say as a dancer was a highlight for me. Like I have never felt more satisfied doing choreography than that choreography. I
Hmm.
think Rob Marshall's choreography in that is spectacular. And it's so deeply satisfying. And the coolest thing is the person who put me into that show, Cynthia Onrubia, is she was the original white cat in Cats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like just the legacy of like getting to work with her and having her put me into the show was so exciting and so cool.
Were you just
And
like,
to do that show across the country, we did it in 2017 right after the election.
oof, girl?
That was an adventure.
I will say I did see Ragtime at City Center after this past election, and
Oh yeah, that'll get you too.
mhm,
That'll get you.
that was an adventure. But were you like, oh yeah, I broke my back during Cats. What was your experience like?
Well, actually, it's interesting because at my audition, it was a great lesson for me in terms of stepping into my power as a dancer.
Hmm.
Because at that audition, I was asked to do something that I physically wasn't sure I was capable of doing. There's a move they want someone to do, like a back walkover, essentially.
Hmm.
And I get there, and she's like, "Okay, we're going to do the back walkover." And I was like, "I can't do that." And she's like, "Oh, I'll teach you how to do it." And I said, "Okay." I did it one time. She taught me. I said, "I think." She goes, "You can do it. That's the mechanics." I said, "Here's something you need to know about me. I broke my spine on the national tour of Cats. I cannot do that 8 times a week." I said, I could do that for 1 week and then you would have to replace me because there's no way I can sustain doing that 8 times a week with this old injury." And I thought, either this is it, either they're going to say, well, then no, you can't be in the show.
Hmm.
Or what ended up happening was she goes, oh, okay, someone else will.
Yeah. But
And it
also,
blew my tiny dancer brain because we are taught you say yes, you like
yeah,
whatever they ask you, you do. But protecting your body and what I learned when I broke my spine
yeah.
on the national tour of Cats is you get one body.
Hmm.
You get one body and it has to be worth it to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, the sacrifice has to be worth it to you. And for that, I said, it's not. I'm not going on tour and I'm not breaking my body any further.
Yeah.
If those are the requirements, pick someone else. But lucky for me,
Yeah.
They didn't.
But also, like, what a great lesson in like kindly setting that boundary for
Yes.
yourself in an audition room.
Oh yeah,
Because, as you were saying, like, we're taught to do yes and this, and that's how you can injure yourself more.
easily.
The older I get, the more I'm just like, boundary, boundary.
Yep.
And I know people who need to do that more for themselves too, but it's also just like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to. I
Yep.
don't like that person, so I don't want to like put myself in that environment where they're there. Or I'm like, I have to be at work at this time. I'm not going out that like little
Yeah.
boundaries for myself. But like I feel so proud that you did that.
Thank you. It was
Having,
a real, well,
yeah,
it was a real turning point for me in my
yeah.
career, honestly, because I went, oh, I can say no,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll respect me
Mm-hmm.
because I have proven myself at this point. I've proven myself with my work. I've proven myself as a consistent, reliable artist.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to respect my no. They're going to
Yeah.
say, you know what, you do know your body. We're not going to put you in jeopardy. And when I was doing Summer, the Donna Summer musical on
Mm-hmm.
Broadway several years
Which
later,
was so
what a
fun.
party.
I
It
have
was such a
I'm
party.
not gonna, so I have a friend who I saw the show with, and he has this thing about like confetti, and I went with it. He got the confetti from the show. It's a very long story, but he
We
came to
had good
visit.
confetti,
They did. So I have like
disco
that.
confetti.
I do have a piece of like Donna Summer Musical confetti from like a month ago that he
Oh my
threw at
gosh.
me like sitting in my apartment
That's so
somewhere.
good. When I was doing Band's Visit, Summer was also touring, and every
Mhm.
once in a while I would get to a theater and I'd be like, the confetti! I'm like, it's following me. I can't get away from it.
So I will say though, when I saw the show, I was like, this is the perfect show for like any middle-aged woman. And I
Oh,
immediately called
yes.
my mom and I was like, you need to take my aunt's name is Debbie. I was like, you and Aunt Debbie need to come into the city,
Hmm?
go to TKTS and get tickets to the Donna Summer musical. You will
People went
thank me.
berserk.
They had the time of their life.
Yes. I have never heard, like, truly, we would do like our final pose. The sound coming from
Mhm.
the audience is like nothing I've ever experienced. It was
Yeah.
like being at a rock concert, truly.
Mhm.
The sheer volume of the people screaming, I've
Mhm.
never had an experience like that. And people were dancing. We had a few times we had to be like, no, you can't come up here. Like people would try to get on stage.
Wow.
There was a man, my favorite. There was a man in the balcony who was dancing, and then suddenly he turned around and began dancing for the rest of the balcony as though he were a part of the show.
That's
People
incredible.
just went nuts. But on that show, there were a lot of dancers making their Broadway debuts,
Hmm.
and I remember I felt like I was like, okay, kids, here's what you gotta do when you get hurt. There were a lot of times when I had to be like, call out, it's okay. Because
Yeah.
someone would be like, well, I turned my ankle in the matinee and like maybe I should. I'm like, nope. It's, and they're like, well, what if they get upset? And I was like, they can't. I mean, they can get upset. But what's more important? Somebody being annoyed that you missed a show and an understudy who they hired for this very reason goes on, or they replace you because you danced on an injured ankle and then you can't do the show at all anymore.
Yeah.
You have to really, I mean, and it's hard. It's scary to say no, but
Yeah.
you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that's an important lesson too. Like I'm such a workhorse, and
Mm,
I was even talking to somebody today. I'm like, I need to like ask off for this day, but I feel like I ask off too much, but I really don't. But that could also just be like the Capricorn energy of always working.
sure, I
But
get that.
I think I'm just like such a like I have to work, I have to work, I have to work. But then you also have to give yourself grace and be like, no, you can take a day off.
And also, something that is so hard to recognize sometimes is like, wait, I do work really hard. I
Yeah.
have worked really hard. I've given a lot to this.
Hmm.
It's okay for me to take care of myself.
Yeah.
It's imperative, in fact, that I take care of
Yeah.
myself.
Well, I'm really curious since we are talking about this, and it is a topic that is brought up in your new performance piece,
Yes.
Cowboy. When you broke your spine or back spine,
My
spine,
yeah, L5. I fractured
yeah.
my L5.
What was that whole experience like? Or do you talk about it or dance about it in your show?
Well, it's interesting because while the dance piece, and it is, I would say it's interesting, it is a dance piece. I initially
Hmm.
started it thinking it was going to be a physical theater piece with dance numbers, and then it
Hmm.
became a dance show with some physical theater elements
Hmm.
because it's sort of a metaphor almost. I've sort of extracted my experience and pushed it through the lens of this icon of
Hmm.
the cowboy. And to me, the cowboy sort of typifies this silent, stoic, almost heroic figure
Yeah.
that we sort of have in as a society. You know, it's this classic Americana kind of like tough. It's and the toughness of the cowboy too is really important. And as somebody who's dealt with serious injury and as a result of that injury, chronic pain, I was really interested in how can I show the isolating experience of chronic pain, the physical challenges of going through a sort of traumatic injury, but distill it enough that it's not about that. It's not about being a dancer. It's not about being injured, but it's about the loneliness of chronic pain. It's about what does a vocation that you love cost you physically?
Hmm.
And I connected that. I have some relatives who were cowboys, literal cowboys in Montana. They did cattle drives. And so I have this kind of ancestral itch, I
Hmm.
think, around it, which is sort of like that's a vocation where you're putting your body on the line. You're sleeping on the ground. You know, maybe you've fallen off your horse. Maybe you're getting run out of town. And
Hmm.
I'm finding all of these parallels with being a dancer who's dealt with chronic pain and dealt with injury and had to isolate and had to say no and had to be careful. And what is that like? You start to feel kind of stoic and kind of tough and kind of like I'm out here on my own, you know, trying to keep going. And that is sort of how the piece germinated and then started to come to life.
I like that word germinated. Sorry, total side note, but
It's a
that's
good
really
one.
cool. I agree. So I want to talk a little bit before we get more into Cowboy. How did Harlow Radical come to fruition
Yeah.
into life? Because it's such a cool concept.
Thank you.
And you had your first show, Uh-Oh, and
Hmm.
now the second piece is Cowboy.
Yes.
But and we talked about creating your own art and just like going out there to do something. So I don't know if well, you'll tell me, how did Harlow Radical come about?
So, my partner Austin and I have worked in commercial theater basically our whole careers since we moved to New York in our 20s. You know, we talked about the start, and like Austin also very similar. You know, he's worked on, I feel like Galileo is going to be his sixth Broadway show. I
Oh,
could be
wow.
wrong. Yeah, like there's a significant career there. And we always have had such admiration and respect, and what we've always been drawn to is sort of the slightly edgier downtown vibe. Like we're really big fans of the Worcester Group. I love Elevator Repair Service, like Pina Bausch's choreography and all of her work with Tansera de Wuppertal. Like this is stuff that we consume and that we, you know,
Yeah.
want to see, and like it's the thing that really lights us up at both as artists.
Hmm.
And the creativity that's there and the possibilities when you're not constricted to what's going to make us money, what are people going to, you know, pay money to see, or versus what ideas do I have, what do I want to see, what's the show that makes me go, oh, that's the coolest thing, oh, I can't believe they did, oh, you can do that too, you can bring this element in. And so I had gone through a period of time where I was, again, trying to transition out of dance. It's really tricky, you know, figuring out what am I going to do. And I had this idea for sort of a performance art cabaret, which ended up being uh-oh exclamation point Kendal Hartse question mark live and in concert question mark, which is the full title. And Austin was like, well, what if we formed a company? And this was the first show that we did. And I loved that idea. And so it's Harlow Radical is Austin as the artistic director and me as the resident artist.
Hmm.
And it's an opportunity for us to collaborate because we don't always get to pick when we're going to work together.
Yeah.
And it's a chance for us to make the work we want to see and
Hmm.
to incorporate all of these different elements and take the sort of commercial sensibility that we've had, that we've honed, but take it in a different direction. And like a lot of people spend their 20s doing that. They spend their 20s making their own thing and discovering those things and like figuring it out. But, you know, we're older now and we have this opportunity and we're in a place where it feels like we actually have something to say. I
Hmm.
feel like I know I have a point of view now and I have a perspective on my both my career as an artist and also life. And I have a lot that I want to contribute and a lot that I want to say now for the
Yeah.
first time. And so this making this company is an opportunity for us to really express ourselves as artists
Hmm.
and say this is what we're interested in. This is what we want to see.
Yeah. So where did the thought and idea of Cowboy come into place?
It's interesting because even before I'd been thinking about cowboy. I've been thinking about the character of the cowboy as it relates to me for a long time. Like maybe even 15 years ago, I think I first made a joke about being like an old cowboy with these injuries. I'm like, oh, I'm just like, I'm all crunchy. I'm an old cowboy, you know. I'm like, better get back on the horse. And like that was my running joke for a really long time with what I was dealing with physically. And then it really started to solidify. And I was like, wait, what if there is something to this? And like, I've been an actor who does other things for so long, but I also have this part of myself, the dancer part of myself, that's never going to die, that's never going to go away. And I had this dream of making a dance piece. I've never made one before, but I always wanted to. I always had this fantasy of like, what if I made a dance? What if I did this? What if I choreographed a show? And I went into a studio and I put on this old music, this like 1960s cowboy music, this guy Marty Robbins, and started moving and seeing like what does it feel like? How does the cowboy move? And then as I started doing that, the story sort of started to form. I started to figure out a way I could make a narrative, and it does have a narrative. It has sort of a beginning, middle, and an end in sort of three distinct movements. And I'm like, okay, this is a show. This is a character study that actually is going to lend itself to a story that's going to be the correct vessel for me to share this experience, to let people know what it's like to experience chronic pain and loneliness and isolation. And that's sort of how it all began. And yeah, I started working on it, I think 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. And it's next week. So, well, when this is released, it's the week of. So you're performing it
Excellent.
August 22nd to August 24th at the Royal
Yes.
Family Performing Arts Space. How do people, if they want to go see the show, how do they get tickets?
They can go. We have, there's an Eventbrite link. I can send it to you too. I don't know if
Yeah,
there's
of
like
course. Absolutely.
tickets here, but yeah, we have an event. We have just a little
Girl,
Eventbrite link,
I
and
got
that's how you
you.
get your tickets. Or you can just walk right up and buy one day
Even
of.
day of, do it, see
Why
all the
not? There's three whole
performances.
performances.
Yeah, see them all. How
Yeah.
long is the piece?
It is an hour. It is just over an hour long,
Mm-hmm.
which both to me sounds short and long. It sounds short if you're thinking about a traditional piece, but if you are by yourself dancing,
Yeah.
it's long.
Yeah.
And it's just me up there for
Mm-hmm.
an hour dancing. And it's pretty it's I will say this is probably the hardest thing I've ever done physically,
Mm. Well, how
which
do
is
you,
important to me.
yeah, so dealing with chronic pain and having this back injury that you have, how do you moving forward from that, how do you take care of yourself and your body? And, especially to do this piece that you're doing for an hour long over the course of a couple of days, how do you protect your body from not getting further injured? How do you train yourself? How do you stretch? What do you do?
It's a great question. I think it's been cool because I've returned to something that I thought I'd left behind.
Mhm.
I go into the studio and I was like, wait, I know how to warm up. I know how to get my body ready. I know how to cool down. I know how to do my PT exercises to strengthen certain things that I'm feeling weaknesses in. I've had a whole career preparing me for this, preparing me for how to take care of myself. When you're doing 8 shows a week, I mean, that is a feat of athleticism that I think people overlook
Yeah.
in terms of the toll that it physically takes on your body. I mean,
Yeah.
it's repetitive stress. It's doing the same thing over and over, and you can't push your body in the same way you can in a modern dance piece. Stamina is something that you have to figure out when you're
Yeah.
doing 8 a week. And that's been really cool for me to explore in the studio of like, how far can I push myself physically? When do I need to pull it back? And I know my own limitations really well at this point. And the cool thing is because I'm the one choreographing it, it feels good. I'm
Hmm.
not doing anything that I go, oh, this move, like there are Broadway shows I've done where I'm like, okay, there's the one part where you get to and you know it's gonna hurt, or it's like, okay, I gotta gear up for, I gotta make sure my shoulder's ready for, I've built myself a piece that is safe,
Yeah.
that is, that's for my body exclusively,
Mhm.
actually, which is cool. And so it's been interesting just working on my stamina and working through. I've had a couple little tiny setbacks, but overall, I've really felt probably stronger and more capable physically than I have in years. And I just turned 40, so it's pretty cool. Hey,
Hey, I'm
yeah.
not aging myself, but I have a big number birthday next year myself. So,
Very exciting.
and it's
I
not a
was, it's,
national holiday, so I've already forewarned
ooh,
people I'm going to be
there you
even more
go.
insufferable.
You should.
But yeah, I agree. But getting back to you, I interrupted you and you were about to say
Oh, no.
something.
I was just going to talk about being 40, which is, I think it's funny doing this piece now. I actually very specifically didn't wait until after I turned 40, but I realized it was going to line up that way.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to be 40 when I do this.
Hmm.
And I was like, whoa, I'm doing something that I thought I was done with, but that I'm clearly not done with, which is
Yeah.
dancing. And I'm doing it at the oldest age I've ever been, at probably the I mean, my body's been through it for so many years. I mean, I was in a car accident when I was 17, other than it's like I've been banged up. I'm an old cowboy, like
Hmm.
my body's really been through it. But it's been really empowering to be able to realize like, wait, I'm stronger than I realized. All of these injuries that I've tended to throughout the years, all of the years of physical therapy that I have
Yeah.
had has paid off. And
Hmm.
I feel stronger and more ready for something like this than I think I ever have, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So where do you see Harlow Radical going from here? Where do you see Cowboy going from here?
I mean, that's a great question. Part of me just wants it to happen and say I did it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like, wow, I did it. There, it's done. Put it to bed. But I have this sort of with Harlow Radical, we have plans for future shows. I mean, we've got I think three that I have locked and loaded up here.
Well,
One
now
more
for
that's
since
coming.
we're doing the biography one, what
Well,
did
then
they call it?
yes,
The
the hustle.
Hustle?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's so six, I guess, five or six
Yeah.
now. So,
Hmm.
but I think, but both Austin and I'd like to see it continue and expand, which is to say, like, as of right now, it's me making these things, but like in the future, I'd love it if there's a young playwright who has something and they want us to do it and we can
Yeah.
figure out a way to produce their work and work with them. And like, I'd love to see it expand and grow as sort of a safe space and a launching pad for people who have these passions and these ideas and these new, exciting thoughts about how to make art. And I think just getting the opportunity to keep working with Austin too is really exciting because
Yeah.
our collaboration is really special and I think it's really unique. And so it's just giving ourselves this opportunity also to know that we're going to get to work together regardless of where other jobs take us is I think really cool.
Yeah. How is it working with your partner?
It's really interesting. It's I would say fantastic mostly.
Hmm.
Because we have a really shared vocabulary artistically, not only because we met at the conservatory, so like we trained together, but also we've worked together and our taste is so similar in artistically. And so it's really cool to get to collaborate and to say, what about this? I have this idea. Oh, what if you tried it this way? I love that. Okay, I'm like, I'd been in the studio and I would come back and show him videos of what I'd been working on. And then Austin would say, oh, try it this way. Did you think about this? I'm like, oh, I didn't. So I'd go back into the studio. And our collaboration, I'd say, it's really positive. Um, it's really positive and I wouldn't say it's effortless, but it's close.
Hmm.
It feels really natural and like really easy, which is nice. And also I'm really grateful that I have a person who knows me well enough to know that like my anxieties and my fears and all of the sort of tough stuff that you have when you're
Yeah.
making a piece. I know that this is also a person who's going to have my back and take care of me, which is huge.
Yeah. That's amazing. So do you have any, aside from Harlow, oh my God, I can't speak, Harlow Radical. I promise I know how to talk. Um, and Cowboy and all that. Do you have any other dream roles or projects that you would want to work on?
Oh gosh, I mean, so many. As I said it too many times, probably. I'm like, I'm ready to transition. It's sort of like
Mhm.
this theme, which is I want to do plays.
Yeah.
I want to do more plays. I mean, it's interesting as someone who has a strong background in musical theater. You do get, I feel that you get pigeonholed sometimes, and people make assumptions about musical theater actors, of like,
Yeah.
it's different somehow. And I'm like, frankly, it's harder. So I'm not quite sure what the problem is. I
Yeah.
think it's hilarious that people think it's, oh, we'll just plug this actor who's never done a musical into a musical and that's easier somehow. I'm like, it's a completely different skill set
It's not. It's
versus the
harder.
fact that I'm doing the skill set in a play in the musical already.
Yeah.
So it's not that different. But I'd love to do more Shakespeare, and I'd love to do more new plays too. But like I really wanted to do plays. I really want to focus my energy there and to focus my energy as an actor in that direction. Not just because I'm exhausted physically, but because I think
Yeah.
it's something that I have had fewer opportunities to do in terms of flexing that muscle and using that skill set. And it's something that I've studied, extensively.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to study with the master teacher Michael Howard before he passed away, who changed my life completely. I studied with him for almost 5 years. And like that to me was almost the equivalent of going to graduate school for acting. Like I got unbelievable training from him. And so I just want to use it. I want to do Shakespeare. I want to do Tennessee Williams. Ooh, Summer and Smoke. That's the one I really want to do, Tennessee Williams wise.
Nice. I will say,
So
like I said early, get a bunch of people, just do some
well,
Shakespeare
that's the
part
thing. I've
somewhere.
got a company now, so
Yeah, you
that's
go.
on the list.
There you go. Well, you do have to get the rights to Tennessee Williams stuff, though.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That might have to wait.
Yeah. Do you have any top going theater experiences?
I have a few. I have several.
Tell
Um,
me all of them. And then I'm always curious when I ask people if we have similar ones.
mm, I mean, I'm going to say a few that are sort of in different categories. I'd say one of the best Broadway experiences I ever had in my entire life was the original production of American Idiot on Broadway. That show I thought was transcendent.
Yeah. Pretty
I
incredible.
loved it. It spoke to me in a way that I don't think I'd had an experience that visceral in a musical. And it
Mhm.
felt like I was seeing people I knew and I was seeing an experience that I'd had. And it was just electric. So that's like definitely top five musical experiences. One of my favorite plays I've ever experienced was no one will may well some people may know about this. So elevator repair service. They
Mhm.
usually do their own they did GATS, they do these
Mhm.
literature, they do these like adaptations, but they rarely do plays, just straight up new works. And they did a play called Fondly Colette Richland. And I talk about it all the time to anybody who will listen. It was a magnificent theatrical experience. I was completely transported in a way that I don't know if I ever had been in a play before. It was this sort of, I don't even know how to describe it other than it was a play that went to another dimension. And I just didn't know theater could do that. And when I
Yeah.
say another dimension, I mean that quite literally. Like in the play, they go into another dimension, and it just blew my mind. And then the last thing that I want to mention is there was this piece that Robert Wilson directed, starring Mikhail Baryshnikov
Mhm.
at BAM, called "Letter to a Man," and it was Baryshnikov playing Nijinsky,
Mhm.
and it was taken from all of these diaries that of Nijinsky's and the sort of like really complex relationship. I think Diaghilev, the like ballet Russe master, was involved in some way, but it was this stunning theatrical exploration of this inner life of this guy, and Robert Wilson's like all the really slow moving like lights that he does was at play, and just Barishnikov's physical prowess.
Yeah.
And he was in his 70s, I think, when he did it, and I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And I love seeing older bodies dance. It's like one of
Mhm.
my favorite things in the world. That's one of the reasons I love Pina Bausch so much. But that piece, Letter to a Man, like I think about it once a week, maybe. There's a trailer, a 1 minute trailer on YouTube, and like sometimes when I'm sad, I'll watch it.
That's fair. I sometimes do that with stuff. I get it.
Yeah, but I'd say like those are my top, those are my top three in sort
Mhm.
of different categories, I would
That's
say.
fair. You can give more. I
I
have,
mean, oh gosh, the original production of August Osage County, I saw
yeah.
that 3 times.
I was just talking to somebody about it today because they're reviving it in London. They're doing it in
Yeah,
London. Oh my God, I can't talk. London with Leslie Manville, and they're like, maybe they'll bring it to New York. I was, who knows?
I hope so because I love that place so much.
Yeah.
Um, gosh, there's probably so many more. I'm drawing a blank. Those are like
Okay.
those are the ones that come to the that float to the top of my
Yeah.
brain.
It'll come to you later and you'll be like, oh, I
It
should
will.
have said
Well,
this.
this, yeah,
Yeah, you'll just DM me later. It'll be
I
fine.
will. I'll be
Okay,
like, what
so
about this production?
yeah, let's talk inside the actor's studio. Okay.
Ooh.
What is your favorite word?
Oh, this is gonna sound so silly. It's probably parallelogram. And I like writing it in cursive. All those L's.
That's how it should be written.
Oh man, it's so satisfying.
Yeah,
Parallelogram. I love it.
yeah. What is your least favorite word?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I like most words. I don't really have a word aversion. I
Okay.
bet if I heard it, I'd go, ugh. But
A lot of people don't like the word moist.
I like the word
It
moist.
doesn't
I
bother
have
me.
no
Yeah,
issues with it. I
yeah.
find it sort of, I know it. And
Oh,
I hate it. Panties. I hate it. Don't call
same,
them that.
same.
Ugh.
I was gonna tell you mine.
I didn't even
Mine,
want to say it. I was like, I don't even want to say it.
like,
It came to me.
I don't like
I'm
that
I'm
word.
literally blushing.
Oh
That's how
my God.
much I hate
Do
it.
you not?
Like it
I,
makes me viscerally uncomfortable. I'm sorry I said it.
I'm right there with you. I don't like that word and I don't
Don't
like
say
the word
it.
tits or titties. Like
See, now I
those,
like both of those. What I think
I
those are
don't know.
fun.
Like I
But
just don't
panties, no, no.
know. I
It's
just
just
so
call them
true.
underwear.
Yes,
Just say
thank you.
underwear.
Or if you want to get like really fancy, my underpants,
Or
you know?
you get even undies. I'll take
Yeah.
undies.
Yeah. But the P
Oof.
word, no bueno.
No, never.
No bueno.
Ugh.
Okay.
I'm
What
glad I
turns
remembered.
you, yes. What turns you on?
Intelligence.
What turns you off?
The opposite of intelligence.
Yeah. Uh, what is your favorite curse word?
It's gotta be fuck. In all its derivatives.
Yes, agreed.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
What,
do.
what sound or noise do you love?
Oh. I love hearing it rain like on a window.
Mhm.
I do. I love that. I find it
Yeah.
so satisfying. Any window, really. Car window, apartment window, house window.
As long as there's a window in rain.
As long as there's a window and rain, I'm happy.
Yeah. What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, there's a few. I hate hearing music like noisebleed through a headphone or a wall. If I cannot actually hear the music, but I can only hear like, especially headphones, especially if I'm hearing noisebleed from headphones, I go insane. It makes me feel murderous, frankly.
Okay. What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Oh man. I mean, there's cop out answers that are other creative things, like author, like I love to write. I've written some novels that I don't let people read. I let select people read them, but I would say novelist probably.
Great.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
Oh, anything that requires intense physical labor, like working on an oil rig. I
Yeah.
don't think I'd be very good at that. I'd
That,
have too many injuries.
yeah. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
That's a good question. No one was mad at you.
And here are your students, as he would say.
Nobody's mad. I would love
Nobody was
that.
ever mad. It was just
Nobody
in
was
your
ever mad at
head.
you.
No, you were great. You
You
just
nailed
did the
it.
human
No
thing
one
where
was
you're just
mad. No
like, no
one's
one
mad.
likes you.
No,
Yeah.
nobody was mad at you.
I think Christina Ricci was on The View like years ago, and she said, because like they asked her a question, she's like, no, I just assume everybody likes me.
That's good.
And I
Oh man,
kind of like go
what's
with
that
that.
like?
I don't know. I mean,
That must be
listen,
very freeing.
well, my freeing thing is like, there are people out there who I know don't like me, and I know there are people out there who I don't like. And I'm not going to sit around worrying about that
That's
because,
good.
quite frankly, it's not my problem if they don't like me.
That's
That's more of
correct.
a them thing.
It is. Someone once told me, what somebody else thinks of me is none of my business.
Well, my favorite is I watched Tom Holland was like doing a podcast interview or like some interview, and he goes, he said there was like another famous person who said this to him, and he said, if you don't have my phone number, you don't have the right to like say something about me, or like why
Oh,
should I
yeah.
care like what you have to say about me, like if you don't have my phone number.
That's probably good advice.
Yeah.
I
Good.
like that.
That's advice for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Kendall, before we end, anything you'd like to put out there? Thoughts, feelings, questions, problems, concerns,
I
why
mean,
people should see Cowboy?
people should see Cowboy. Everybody should see Cowboy. If you've ever wondered if you still have what it takes, if you're
Mm,
still quick enough on the draw, that's what it really deep down is about. And I think we all understand that. So yeah, just come see Cowboy, but beyond that, go see live theater.
yeah.
Just support the arts and support the arts and education too.
Yeah.
Across the board, arts.
Arts,
That's what I have to
period.
say. Period.
Period.
They're
I love that.
important. They teach us how to be empathetic.
I thought that was my door.
It was mine.
Oh, goodness. Do you need to get that? I
I
can pause.
might. Forgive me.
It's all good. We're live.
Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
don't even know how to pause this in
I
this
don't think I
moment.
ordered anything. Maybe it's for a neighbor. Sorry about that. I'm trying to open the door. Sorry, I'm trying. I think you got it. I'm still new to this buzzer.
If it makes you feel any better, we got that
Sorry.
all because I don't know
Okay.
how to pause this recording. Normally
Oh, I'm
there's a
glad.
pause button. Didn't
Well,
happen.
there you
But you know
go.
what? This is what we call live theater.
Live theater. Anything can happen.
It
A
really
delivery
can.
man.
Delivery man, the door buzzed.
I
Oh,
didn't think I ordered anything. Must be for a neighbor.
it's okay. That happens to
Yeah.
me too. I'm like, I got a package. What did I
Like,
order?
what
And then
is
it's like a
this?
box from Sephora that I totally forgot I got
I mean,
something.
it might be props for Cowboy,
That's
which would
fair.
be, which I'm waiting for some buckets to arrive.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
I've got
that.
all my other cowboy accoutrement. I've got my rope. I've got my boots. I've got my harmonica.
We have your hat
I've got my hat.
and your kerchief.
I've got it.
I love that.
I got the rodeo, official rodeo jeans. They're in the mail.
Oh,
Yeah,
love
worn by
that.
real cowboys.
Nice. But have you practiced moving in them yet?
I've been rehearsing in a pair of Madewell jeans,
Okay, that's fair.
which have quite a bit of stretch. But these
Yeah.
I tried on and I was like, wait a minute, they're really stretchy. Because
Mm,
for rodeo, I mean, you're on a
yeah.
horse, you're lassoing. Lassoing also, it's hard.
Mm. Do
I've
you
learned.
You know what? Go
I
see
do,
Cowboy.
I
Find out
do
if
in
you
fact
laugh.
lasso. I do lasso. Spoiler alert, I
We're gonna
lasso.
try and keep it. It's okay. Spoiler.
I won't, there are some shocking surprises that I will not spoil.
Okay,
But
good.
you'll have to come to Cowboy to find out what those are.
Beautiful. Well, Kendall, thank you so much for coming on. It was
My
so
absolute pleasure. I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
Hi. Hi.
So I figured out how to pause. Oh, ironically,
Okay.
I have a package now. But
Oh, maybe it's
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, no, I think it's like I ordered eyeshadow from eBay. Enough about me. But
Thanks.
anyway, Kendall, thank you so
Well, what
much.
a pleasure. Sorry for the
Yeah.
final interruptions.
No, it's fine. I was able to pause the recording this time for it.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so I figured that out. So, whew,
Glad. Nice. Well,
yes.
thank you so much. What a pleasure to
Of
meet
course.
you, and
Yeah,
I'm
same here.
thrilled to be here.
Thanks. And thanks y'all for listening. Go see
Yeah.
Cowboy once again at the Royal Family Performing Arts Space. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. I will post, she will post. It'll be
Terrific.
great.
Can't wait.